these are 3 apps that they are built from the same prompt. The only different, I use different AIs. Claude, Gemini, and GPT. Let's see which one is the winner. I dedicate my life to build digital products for companies. And nowadays we do it with AI. But there is a single question that I get all the time. Which AI should I use? Should I use ChatGPT? Should I use Claude? Should I use Gemini? In this video, we are going to make these AIs to pass a test. We are going to give them the same product to build with the same exact prompt, and we are going to check the final result and give them a score. The rules are, all the AIs are going to receive the same prompt, and I'm only allowed to give 3 prompts after the first one. Not one more. If it needs a new one, it loses points. The product we are going to build is Bioforge. It's going to be a web that is going to allow us personalize and create bios for our Instagram, TikTok, and social media profiles. It's a simple project, but it's going to be complex enough to check how the AI manage the UI, the architecture, and the internal prompts. So let's go. The first one is going to be Codex by OpenAI, and we're going to give him the prompt. The prompt is the following. It's just build a web app called Bioforge. The user enters the profession, 3 personality keywords, a tone, and when they click generate, the app will return 5 bios under 160 characters each, and they will be copyable with 1 click. Modern design, a bit of the UI. We're giving the stack also. The stack is going to be for all the AIs the same. Next.js plus Tailwind and OpenAI API for the generation of the bios. Include error handling and prepare the project for deployment on Vercel. So let's start. Let's see how this first one goes. As it's going to take a while, we're going to paste the same prompt on all the different AIs simultaneously, and we will check when it finishes. On the Google side, on Gemini's, we are going to use Jules. Jules work very similar to Codex. We just need to link the GitHub repository, and we will paste again the same prompt. And go. And last but not least, we have Claude Code. Let's go for the Anthropic solution. We're going to paste the same prompt and we will see what it generates. And we are back. We had a huge difference on times regarding the speed. Codex was the first tool that finished, and the only thing I did off camera was to give them the OpenAI key so they can make something that works. And also, for being 100% transparent, I only gave 1 more prompt to, in this case, Codex, because we didn't have a tool in order to visualize the result. It didn't work anyway, so what I did was downloading the project and run it on local. And let's jump on it. This is the first version we have. This is the version of Codex. As you can see, it's very simple. We are going to do a test. Let's say we're a product designer, as they suggest. And let's put fun, professional, and I don't know, bold. Let's generate. In this case, it's not working. It's not recognizing the key. That's something that I also wanted to test, the security of these AIs. What I did to send the keys was basically pasting on the chat. I know it's not secure. That's what I wanted to try. So basically, Codex, what they did, they didn't push the key on the repository, which is nice. But right now, we cannot test it. The UI is very simple, maybe too simple, but that's the first iteration of the process. Let's jump now with Jules, and here we are. Jules was by far the longest one that it took. It was like 30 minutes or something like that. It was quite a lot. But this is what Jules generated. It first created a plan. I didn't say anything. I sent the same prompt to all of them, but it's quite nice that first it generates a plan. It approved their own plan, and what we end up having is this. They give us actually a screenshot of the result. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, very minimalistic. That was the requirement we had. And here also they are showing us also a video of a test in the platform, which is quite nice. So this is the result for Jules. And last but not least, we have Claude Code. On Cloud Code, it took like 15 to 20 minutes on building this. And we have actually a tool that we can try. So let's go for the test. It's pre-filled, so let's generate and let's see if it works, because I never tried. Okay, it's giving a failure. Okay, now it works. I don't know why it failed. But as you can see, the UI is even simpler, more minimalistic, but is working on this time. So let's go for the second iteration. As I sent the API key on the second prompt, I'm going to be fair and I'm going to only add one more prompt on each of them. The prompt is, let's improve the UI of the web, make it as professional as possible, use any skill, asset or resource that you have available to improve the UI at world-class UI design agency level. So let's start on Codex. Let's send also the message to Jules, and let's do the same with Claude, and let's see the final result of this experiment. And we are ready for the final result. Following the first loop results, again, Codex was the fastest. This has been the final result from Codex. We can see that it's a very simple UI, but it will work for some MVP or doing a proof of concept. So let's start with the final score for Codex. On the first category, UI, I'm going to give it a 5/10. I think it's very simple, it can be improved. Of course, all of them, they can be improved with several iterations. But for the result of the test, I think it's pretty improvable. So I'm giving a 5. Regarding the speed category, I will give it a 9 out of 10. It was very fast, and building something that works very fast, it requires some recognitions. And on the third category, user experience on using the tool, Codex, I'm going to give them a 6/10. We had some problems, they were not showing the preview of what it was built. We couldn't also interact directly with the prototype. I know they have also a desktop app, so maybe it will work a bit better. But in my personal experience on this experiment, it was not the best. So I give them a 6. So the final score for Codex is going to be 6.6. Let's see how their competitors did. And we are jumping to the final result of Cloud Code. This is the final result. I think it looks very nice. It added a bit of animation also while we generate the BIOS. We also have some counter of words here. It played a bit with the background, also with the shimmer on the button. So I think it's pretty nice, only for being the second iteration. I think it's because Claude used the skill content UI. So probably that's why it also improved. But let's start with the scores. For the UI, I will give it a solid 8/10. I think it's pretty nice. It can be improved, of course, but I think for only giving them 2 prompts, the UI is good enough to launch it to production. Regarding the speed, I'm going to give Claude a 7/10. It was not as fast as Codex, but it was fast enough to feel productive on the day and not be waiting hours. So I will give them a 7/10. And regarding the user experience using the platform, I think it's the best of all the 3. It's amazing, you can run it, it's automatically preview the live version of the product so you can test it in real time. So I'm giving a 9/10 to the final user experience score. That will leave a score of 8/10 for Cloud Code. And let's jump to Jules. We have the result right here. This is what Jules created. For me, personally, is my favorite one. I think it looks very professional. Of course, it can be improved the same, like iterating with new prompts and improving the UI, but I think it's very nice. So let's jump to the scores for Jules. On the UI, this one is my favorite one. I will give it a 9/10. Regarding the speed, I'm going to give him a 3/10. It was crazy slow. Probably with higher plans, it will be faster, but the productivity using this platform it's turning to 0. So my final result is a 3 out of 10 for the speed. It was the slowest tool of all of them. And regarding user experience, the experience for a developer is very nice. It creates the PRs and it's very well documented, but maybe for a user that is not technical, it's not going to be the best tool to work with. So I will give it a 7 out of 10. This will leave us with a 6.3 for Jules. And after watching the results, what do you think? Which one do you think it looks better? Which questions do you have regarding the different ones? Or which fields do you think that I should evaluate too? Leave me in the comments which is your opinion about this. And of course, as you can see, with a few prompts, today we can generate real products. But if you want to jump from these results to a production-grade app, I will leave you under this video a link so we can schedule a meeting and we can check your project. Thank you for watching the video and see you in the next one.